again. We've been answering some common questions that people have as they get into Invisalign, about Invisalign. So Bethany got another question for me this week. What do you got?
So what we're talking about today is the 7 keys to Invisalign success.
It's the keys to success. So this is important. These are some of the things that we have found and honed in on that we realized are really important as far as people having successful treatment, predictable treatment, and their treatment moving as quickly as we and they would like it to happen. So we'll go through some of these things, but we have it written down, and that's important. We make sure all of our patients, whenever they start their treatment, whether we need to do any refinements as we finish treatment, or if they just wanted a copy of this thing, we make sure they have a copy of it. That way they can see it and know what they need to do and kind of why. But we'll run through them, kind of what those keys are.
All right, so number 1, very important to wear your trays all the time, 24 hours a day, even while you're eating and sleeping. The only time you take them out is to clean your teeth or your trays.
Exactly. So with these Invisalign aligners, they can only work if they are in the mouth. And if they're in there, they're applying that nice gentle push to the teeth in the direction we want them to go. And once we take them out, that movement stops. Also, we only really need to take these things out for a couple of things. And honestly, what we've honed that down to is they need to come out in order for us to clean the aligners, but also to clean our teeth. Short of that, everything else we can do with these things in. We can talk with them in normally. We can drink all of the things we normally would, whether that's, water, sodas, or coffee in the morning or throughout the day, if it's the ladies here all day long, coffee. Or it can, your wines, all those things. But you can also eat with these things in. And that, even though it may feel awkward to do, it can be done, and it's really important as far as wearing them, even in those moments, so that we're moving those teeth exactly where we want them to be. But also, if they're in there, we can't lose them.
True. Very true. So number 2 I have is to continue to wear your trays even if they break, which is rare, but...
Yes. So if we have a tray and it just breaks on us, or if it tears, anything like that, we want to keep wearing that tray as long as it's not uncomfortable. And if it is uncomfortable, there's things that we can tell you to do to make it a little bit more comfortable in the meantime. But we're wearing, because we are very strategic in how we're moving these teeth, and though we're moving them slowly, we are so efficient in how we're getting there that this treatment's happening quickly. And patients are swapping these trays out after a short amount of time. So usually we can keep wearing that particular tray, or if there's a concern about it, we can always figure out how we navigate that, whether we need to move back to one of our previous trays or whatever it may be. But what we don't want to do is not have our trays in there and the teeth start going rogue and moving wherever they want to move, because then that can derail our treatment, and teeth aren't where we are expecting them to be. And if they're not where we expect them to be, trays don't fit. Treatment slows down.
Gotta start over.
We're starting over a little bit, and that, again, we want to get to the finish line.
Yep. All right. Number 3 is to bring all of your trays to each appointment, and don't throw them away. Let us throw them away so that we don't mix them up.
Yes, so we want to make sure, our patients are wearing the trays, but also sometimes they get mixed up as patients are going from tray number 3 to number 4, and they thought they had number 4, and they actually had number 3, and number 4 ends up in the trash can. So we just hold on to all of them, and if we have them all, we can all make sure we're in the right tray. We can make sure the trays we were wearing were being worn enough. We can use those if something comes up. But also what we found is with these trays, they are a plastic, similar to like water bottles, things like that. And there's some programs that are out there where we can recycle these things. So we can, lower our impact on the world. If patients, all these patients we have in Invisalign with all of these trays, if we are collecting them, we can more responsibly kind of dispose of those things for them.
Okay. Number 4, if you lose your current tray, don't worry. Just put in the previous tray and then call us.
Exactly. So part of the benefit too of holding on to all the trays, they will have that previous tray. And if we lose it, we can take a step back and try to maintain it. and then we can get that tray that is missing. We can get another one of those and just pick up where we left off. Because again, we don't want teeth going rogue. We want teeth moving wherever they feel like moving to. Let's hold it in a spot where we know those teeth are supposed to be at, and then we can kind of pick back up from there. But the key is to not panic. Don't panic. It's okay. But if you do panic, call us. They'll kind of walk you through what to do, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right. If you lose an attachment and we need to replace it, we'll just replace it at your next appointment. So don't worry about that. We'll get it taken care of.
Exactly. So on these teeth, we have those attachments on there that help facilitate movement, but they are not the end-all be-all as far as teeth moving where we want them to. It is one of the factors, but not the most important one. The most important one is wearing these things all the time. So if we're wearing them all the time, we will see movement in the direction we want. And if the attachment's there, we'll see a little bit more predictable movement in the way we want. But if that attachment comes off, as long as we're wearing it, we will see it moving. And to keep patients from having to come in when they didn't need to, just let us know. Just give us a call, say, hey, this came off. We'll be ready for it at your next visit. We'll get it back on. Keep this train moving towards the finish line.
All right. So while uncommon, ibuprofen, Motrin, Advil can be taken to alleviate soreness.
Yes. So Invisalign treatment in general, I'd say is very comfortable. But whenever we swap aligners, that initial kind of tightness or soreness can be there during that first day. Because we kind of have this scheduled out and we know when that's happening and patients know when it's coming, that morning where it's a tray switch day is a good day to take a little ibuprofen. That morning, doesn't take much. That'll help a little bit with the soreness. Usually after that first day, everything is back to normal. But sometimes it's easier to stay ahead of it, especially if we noticed that in the previous tray. Okay, all right, when it's time to switch to this next one, let's just take a little bit to make sure we stay comfortable.
Right. So the last one is to avoid staining foods with yellow dyes. So mustard, mac and cheese, things like that.
Yes, I mean, with these aligners, if we have you wearing them all the time, we want to make sure that they disappear for the most part from a social standpoint. And that's one of the big benefits of Invisalign versus braces. Someone has braces, you know they have the wire in there from across the room. Versus with Invisalign, unless you are right up in their face or right in their grill like we are when patients come to see us, you don't know it's there. And that is one of the perks. But if our aligners start getting to a point where they are discolored, they become more noticeable. And those specific things will stain the aligner, and they will make them turn anywhere from a slightly dingy yellow to even to a bright highlighter yellow. And that's generally not a good look walking around with bright yellow teeth. So we want to avoid those things for those specific reasons, just because they will alter that color of the aligner. So your mustards are out, your turmeric curry, that stuff's out. Unfortunately, mac and cheese is out because it's one of my favorites. But I'd almost say that's the exception. You pull that aligner out, and if it's some good mac and cheese, you eat it and put it back in there. But you want to avoid those yellow things. But those are the keys to success with Invisalign, and that is the goal: is to, again, predictable treatment, quicker treatment, less circumstances, things come up that are going to impact our treatment. That's what the goal is, and we make sure that everyone gets one of these things for that reason. So you can put it on your fridge, on your mirror.
It has a magnet. In
your car. It's got a magnet on there. Wherever you got to put it in order to kind of help get you to the finish line.
But if you have something that is not on this list you're concerned about, just call us.
Absolutely.
We'll be happy to answer.
These ladies are ready to answer any and every question you have, and they got answers for you. All right, perfect. Anything else, Bethany?
That's all I got.
Perfect. Well, that's it for this week, I guess.